Here is an example sketch of the room that I will be doing this pseudo C3 temperament test within. Camera will be set up on the other side of the partition where I have neutral observers listed. And please note that the evaluator will start in the center of the room and not in the reset area, which I have claimed to be the couch in this case, just for clarity's sake. The door leading outside the room does not have a solid door, but is instead a baby gate around a then blind corner into the kitchen. In your testing room, it's very important to have everything set up as possible before the first dog even comes in. This way we can keep it as consistent and go back to reset throughout each repetition as we go through a litter. In this case, you can see I have some supplies up on that table that are in the bag, so like my tug, the treat containers, things like that. Also my evaluation form, which is on my Chromebook in this case. Because I'm just one person, I will be playing the roles of both evaluator and handler for the sake of this example video. So handler, I'll just be wearing my headphones, but for evaluator, I'm gonna put a little cubby's hat on top. If I am acting as the handler in that moment, then Beluga will be wearing the cubby's hat. So the evaluator, after setting up the testing area, will then call the handler in to bring in the first puppy after their information has been filled out. The puppy will come in from out of sight, and you can see the camera is now set up in what I would consider the neutral observer area, so on the other side of our partition of the room. Because this is the 6 to 7 month temperament test, we will not be utilizing a leash. So I'm instead walking and carrying our puppies in. Once we enter the test area with our puppy, right upon entering the test area, we want to put the puppy down, close the gate behind us, and then we can walk past where the neutral observers are to about 6 feet, 4 to 6 feet or so, depending on your room limitations, from our evaluator. Here, we wait for approximately 1 minute and allow our dog to explore the area. After 1 minute, the handler will invite puppy to go say hi to evaluator. The evaluator from their starting position is allowed to crouch and initiate or solicit puppy attention, but is not allowed to close the distance. We want to go, Remy, come here, buddy. Good. This is all about seeing if the pup will approach and engage. Hi, what's up? Hi, good job. Once we have engagement, or if we get engagement or not, from that point, the evaluator can stand up and walk a moderate distance, so between 6 to 10 feet away, and invite puppy to follow. Because our puppies are not on leash, they may indeed walk in the direction that we choose. In which case, maybe walk a bit away. Remy, Remy, Remy! Remy, Remy, Remy! Good job. And ask them to follow you. That way we're not getting a false positive. It should be noted that during this time, our handler can remain either in the center of the room or move to the reset area, which, like I explained, I'm using as the sofa in this instance. Once the evaluator is in that distance location away from the handler, they will then begin to do the body check exercise. So, Remy, Remy, Remy. Good job. We're just gonna do a quick eyes, mouth, maybe some ears, and limbs. Wow, you got so many legs. So good. Wow. The puppy is able to resist or even escape with some mild persistence. There is some handling and light restraint involved, but they should be able, let's see if Remy does it, to move their heads away. I'm gonna wait a second just with very light holding here. There we go. The evaluator will put the puppy down, Remy, 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 and invite them back over to their handler. And the handler is then, so I'm now handler is then allowed to engage and soothe the puppy. Hi, buddy. Wow, you did so good. You did amazing. Wow. Before we move on to the next test item. Once we move on to the next test item, it's very important to make sure that our handler, Beluga in this case, is non-interactive, just that the evaluator is interactive because we'll be playing with toys. It's also important to make sure that we are only utilizing one toy. We don't want to be switching and offering things because it's not really about the toy. It's about, is the puppy willing to explore with the human? At this point, we are now moving out of our initial socialization test item and looking at the object play item. So I am the evaluator, Beluga is currently the handler, and they are going non-interactive and neutral, just standing there, either in the center of the room or back in the reset area. The evaluator will then take the fleece tug from a hidden location, non-accessible to the puppy, and will offer the puppy to play with it. They can crouch, use verbal encouragement, play around, but it's important that we're going through both an active and passive cycle. And I'll show you what I mean with this. Hi, do you want to play? Do you want to get it? Do you want to get it? Oh, he got it. Remy, unsurprisingly, is tugging. He's enthusiastic. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Now, Remy here knows an OUT cue, but our puppies, of course, won't. And so we might indeed have to kill the toy, which is just kind of holding it boring, waiting until they let go and re-grip, wadding it into your hand or some other way to get it out of sight, and becoming passive for 15 seconds. This toy is non-interactive for approximately 15 seconds. It doesn't even have to be that long. But what we want to do is see what the puppy will do. You can see how oriented Remy is to me while I'm passive. He's doing little licks. Okay, let's play. Wow, you did it. Wow, that's amazing. And we go back to the active cycle. So that's what it means by going between passive and active. Obviously, in this case, Remy's a very expert tugger. And so with a puppy, it might be this, moving the toy along the ground for them to chase, flounce after, or grab. That's perfectly fine. Once we complete the active and passive cycles, noting their grip strength or lack thereof, we are then going to move on to the next item, which is to chase the toy. So we take the exact same toy that we've just been hiding kind of in our hand from that last passive cycle and throw it a short distance away. In this case, Remy very rapidly went after the toy, grabbed it, and started to bring it back to me. So that's very clear. We don't have that expectation, of course, for our puppies, but it's important to note whether they go after it. If they do not, then we don't want to initially go up and get it or grab another toy. We want to first maybe encourage them. And that would look something, I'm going to do it a bit more artificially, like this. So if I just kind of put the toy there, I might go, hey, look at that. What is it? Okay, what is it? Okay, that would be just a gestural and verbal support. We can also then use spatial and proximal support by walking towards the item, towards the toss tug with our puppies. But those are all important different criteria to note. After our puppy has the toy, they are allowed to play with it or have the opportunity to play and interact with it for up to about 30 seconds. So the maximum duration for this entire chase test item should be only 1 minute. After that 30 seconds, or again, maximum of the entire period of 1 minute, we will then pick up our toy, wad it in our hands, and the evaluator will then put it out of sight. It's very important to not leave the toy on the ground because we want to see what will then the puppy, or in this case Remy, do when the game has suddenly changed. We are now moving into the arousal recovery period. And this is admittedly pretty boring. It is a 3-minute wait where both the handler and the evaluator and any neutral observers will just be standing, very boring, for about 3 minutes to see what does our dog do. In cases of frustration, distress, any elimination, or general puppy or dog chaos, say for example if Remy started to bite at Beluga, which in this case would be at our handler's heels, then we are allowed to respond and make movements, take intervention to keep the psychological, physical, and emotional safety of all parties involved, as well as just general cleanliness.